want to welcome and congratulate Tiger Woods, our champion of the 2018 Tour Championship, third time winning this event. Your first win in 5 years and your 80th PGA Tour victory. Of the 80 wins, where does this one rank?
It's certainly up there with obviously all the major championships I've won, Players, World Golf Championships. But this is under different circumstances. You know, I've explained throughout the year that I just didn't know whether, you know, when this would ever happen again, or if I could somehow piece together a golf swing, you know, this year, I feel like I could do it. My hands are good enough, and I just didn't know if I could, you know, piece together a golf swing, but somehow I've been able to do that, and here we are.
Start with Walker.
What does this one mean to you?
It means a lot. It really does. You know, there are the people who are close to me saw the struggles and what I was going through, and some of the players that I'm pretty close to. They've really helped, you know, throughout this process and the last few years. You know, and their support and with you know, some of those things that they said, you know, come off that last screen meant a lot to me.
Here,
Tiger, that stampede on 18. I know you looked back at it. What were you thinking, and how did you refocus yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, I could hear it. I just didn't really see much. I was kind of looking forward, and I figured the security they would hold them back. When I got down to the golf ball, I looked back, and I think the left half of the fairway was covered, but not the right half. But the tournament wasn't over yet. You know, I still had a 2-shot lead, but you know, anything could still happen, and I still need to play the hole. And once I hit the ball in the bunker, I tried to miss it right at the flag. I was able to do that. And once I got the ball onto the green, then the tournament was over. When I was hitting that bunker shot, you know, just like in every weekend hacker, just whatever you do, don't blade this thing out of bounds. I went for a little chunk and run, and I didn't try and you know, play the lobber all the way back to the flag. Just a little chunk and run, and tournament was over.
In the back.
Tiger, you mentioned that you had to, back here, you mentioned that you found it difficult not to cry coming up 18. Just wondered, apart from the occasion just after your dad passed away, has there ever been another occasion where you've had to fight back tears?
Yeah, there are a few here and there, but nothing will compare to the win at Hoy Lake in that regard. You know, losing Dad, and then you know, the circumstances are very different. Okay, so I'm not going to compare the two, but I was pretty emotional when Rory was tapping out. He was finishing out. I looked around, and the tournament was over because I'd already put the bunker shot on the green, and I'd won 80, and you know, 80's a big number, and I've been sitting on it, you know, 79 for about 5 years now, and to get 80 is it's a pretty damn good feeling.
Doug?
Tiger, if you go back to the first surgery that caused you to miss the Masters back in 14, what would you consider to be the low point, and what would you consider to be the high point up until today?
Probably the low point was not knowing that if I ever be able to live pain-free again. Am I going to be able to sit, stand, walk, lay down without feeling the pain that I was in? And I just didn't want to live that way. You know, this is how the rest of my life is going to be. It's going to be a tough rest of my life. And so, you know, I was beyond playing. I didn't want, I mean, I couldn't sit. I couldn't walk. I couldn't lay down without feeling the pain in my back and my leg. So, you know, that was a pretty low point and for a very long time.
In the back.
Tiger, over here.
Yes.
To so many people that this completes your comeback, does that feel like the sense to you, or will it only be complete when you do something else, win another major or whatever that may be?
No, dude, I just to be able to to compete and play again this year, that's a hell of a comeback. As I said, some of the people are very close to me. They've seen what I've gone through. I was alluding to some of the players. I've seen what I've gone through, and they know how hard it was just to get back to playing golf again and forget the elite level. Just be able to play golf again and enjoy being with my kids and living that life. And then lo and behold, I'm able to do this and win a golf tournament.
So I mean, the peace of mind that you've done that must be incredible.
It is, to be able to compete and play again. Yes, win, that's another level. But I'm just enjoying being able to do this again. Didn't know I was going to do this again.
Steve?
Tiger, quick couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you called your kids yet?
I haven't had time. I've been
Okay.
doing from one interview to the next.
And if your dad was around, what do you think he'd be thinking about right now?
Pops would be very proud. Yeah, he'd be very proud of the way I went out today under tough conditions. I knew that if I shot it under par, that I'd win the golf tournament. The golf course was playing too tough. Some of the hole locations, you just couldn't get the ball below the hole, and it was hard to give yourself consistent looks at it. And I knew that going in, so if I shot it under par today, that was the goal, and I figured the tournament would be over.
Bob, and then we'll work across the front here. Bob?
Tiger, at any point out there today, are you thinking it's like old times? You've got the lead. You're sort of methodically going about your business and letting the others make their mistakes. It's kind of the way you did it for so long. Did that cross your mind at all, and was that the game plan?
No, as I said, the game plan was to shoot under par, and I birdied the very first hole right out of the gate. So, all right, now I'll play the next 17 under par. Even par, and we're good to go. And I was just grinding out there, and I was telling Joey, it felt like more of a grind today because of where I kept leaving myself. I had downhill putts virtually, every single hole, and the only 2 putts I made today, or 3 putts I made today at 1 and 4, the par putt and 13 up, those were all uphill. It seemed like I was downhill, down grain, every single hole, and I was putting very defensive and conservatively all day.
Bernie, and then Karen.
Tiger, you talked about these special people in your life, but how special was it to have some of the guys that are going to be flying with you on the flight to Paris tonight? And also, in the second question, can you recall what Rory was saying to you down that last part of the last hole?
Yeah, he was flying tonight with the guys. It's going to be fun. We're going to have.
You buying drinks?
Yeah, we're going to. I think we're all going to sleep well.
Karen?
And sorry, what Rory was saying, Rory was just, off the tee, he was great, and then coming down, between our second and third shots, this is like a Jack in 80, right, at Baltusrol. I said, yeah, and I just didn't have the tight pants and the hair, but it was all good.
Thanks. Karen?
Tiger, very early in your comeback, I remember somebody asking you, where's the signature right uppercut? And you said, well, I haven't won. And yet your celebration after that second putt dropped was pretty subdued for you. Why?
I don't know. Celebrations aren't planned. They just come out. They're spontaneous. And I don't know. My arms went up. I can't describe it more than that.
I didn't know if you felt sorry for Rory and didn't want to celebrate too much in front of him.
No, that's not that. Whatever happens in celebrations just kind of happens. They're not pre-planned, or at least in my regard, they're not pre-planned. And whatever the moment is, the moment is.
Here?
Tiger, congrats on the victory. Two-part question. First, can you talk about what it means for you to be only 2 victories behind Sam Snead? And the second question is, how can you use this comeback story to serve as an inspiration for other athletes who are going through difficult times, injuries, and doubtful about their careers?
Yeah, to kind of to get to the 80 mark is it's a big number, and you know that Sam is still ahead of me. I've still got I feel like a chance to play some more golf, and maybe I'll keep chipping away at that number and maybe surpass it. But I just think that what I've gone through and what I've dealt with, I've gotten lucky. To be honest with you, I've gotten very lucky. I'm not playing a full contact sport, or you know, I've got to move people around in that regard. 42 years old with a fused lower spine, that's not going to happen. But in this sport, it can, and I'm lucky to have the opportunity to have, you know, the people around me to have supported me and worked through this process with me, and I've ground out a chance to win golf tournaments again.
All the way in the back.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Tiger. Can you explain or express the relief you felt after that par putt on 17? And have you experienced anything like coming up 18 up to the green, the fans and the commotion?
The fans and the commotion, no. It was similar to, if you guys remember, the 97 at the Western coming out last hole. That was a little bit like that, but not to this fever pitch. This was different, you know. I guess it's different now because you know the art of clapping is gone, right? You can't clap if you got a cell phone in your hand, and so people yell, and they were yelling at they're going to be hoarse. But that putt at 17 was a lot bigger than people think. I at the time could have dropped down to a one-shot lead playing the last hole. You know, hit a bad tee shot, pitch out. You know, a lot of things can happen. But a two-shot lead playing a par 5, in which I can hit driver and iron to, that's a totally different ball game. And the lie I had was not that great. It was sitting down. It was hard underneath there, but it was sparse, and so I couldn't quite hit it as hard as I wanted to. I had to try and play for a little bit of a heater there. And it came out a little bit warm, which was great. It can roll down next to the hole, but that was a big hole for me.
Right here.
What do you think this win will mean for your kids?
I think they understand a little bit of what Dad does now, and I hadn't won any tournaments in which they can remember. So I think this will be a little bit different for them, and to be able to have shared what I did with the British Open this year, I had a chance. I had the lead. They felt it, you know, that atmosphere. They felt it, and they know what their dad can do on a golf course now. It's not what I used to be able to do, and they, you know, a lot of times they equated golf to pain because every time I did, I'd hurt, and it would cause me more pain. And so now they're seeing a little bit of a joy and seeing how much fun it is for me to be able to do this again.
Go Doug here, and then Evan.
Are you ever able to get a sense of when you're playing well, how other players react to it? And if so, what does winning like this do going forward?
In what way, Doug? I don't understand.
Just the
first part.
The presence. I mean, the presence of the noise that's always around you when you're making birdies, when you're making moves, and how they react to it. Do you ever get a sense of that? Do you ever get a sense of a mystique you might have had on them?
A couple of guys thought someone holed out on the first hole. It was just me making a putt, but the roars are a little bit louder because we had to have more people, and it's just going to be that way. And I think that a lot of the guys that are playing right now in the playoffs and then towards this tour championship, the top 30 are the guys that didn't really play against me, and when I was younger. These guys, grew up watching a lot of what I did, so it's a little bit different.
What does that do for your confidence compared to winning number 17
Well, I just think that anytime you can get to change the decade number, it's that's a pretty damn good feeling.
We'll go here. It's about 3 more guys.
Yeah, just being out there, kind of the depth of the fondness for you was really compelling, and I'm wondering if that maybe matters to you in a way it didn't so much half your life ago. Whatever.
No, it means a lot more to me now in the sense because I didn't know if I'd ever be out here again doing this again. And so, I don't know, you give it 20 years ago, I mean, hell, I was never going to play it for another 30 years. That's just the way golf is. You can play till you're 70 years old, and you see these guys on a Champions Tour playing tournament golf at 70. There was a point in time I didn't know if I'd ever, do this again. So, yeah, I appreciate it a little bit more than I did because I don't take it for granted that I'm going to have another decade, 2 decades in my future of playing golf at this level.
2 more questions right here.
Congratulations, first of all, on your 80th win.
Thank you.
Was there a number in your head that you felt you needed to shoot today?
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I just wanted to shoot under par today. I figured that would be the number. This golf course was playing hard enough where it was going to be hard to make birdies, and there's only 2 guys chasing me at the time. And so, with Rory and Justin there, only 3 back. If I stayed under par, they'd obviously have to shoot a really good round, but somebody from the pack would have to shoot an unbelievable round, round of the week to force them to extra. And I felt like if I just went out there and just did my own thing and shot under par, the tournament would be over.
Final question, Evan.
How do you think the world will react to this win, given you've probably just broken the internet?
Well, when I came out here, there was no internet.
All right, congratulations,
thanks, guys.
Tiger.